Hello again. It's we're not. Hello again. Right. This week I'm hammering down graphics again. If you remember, last week I talked about potential workflows between me and James for drawing artwork, having that artwork come into me, and then me doing some weird sort of subpar magics to it and then throwing it back to James for review. This week I've been largely thinking about that and doing research on art packages. I don't want to shell out for Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop. I have older versions of these that run on Windows. I want to use the Mac predominantly, so I'm looking for something Mac based. I don't want to shell out for Adobe Illustrator. I don't like the subscription based model, and I don't feel it's really great value for money. And it feels a bit weird having it just sitting in the cloud and stuff. There are quite a few alternatives on most platforms for Windows, Linux, and Macintosh. There are obviously your staples like CorelDRAW, which is available on Windows only, but largely everything else is available on all platforms, such as Inkscape. There's Vector. There's a few other bits and pieces as well. Autodesk do a specific one for the Mac, which looks pretty good. So I'm looking at all those, but the one that I'm really sort of like looking at is Affinity Designer. Now, Affinity is made by Serif, who have been in the Macintosh software business for quite a while, and they do a drawing package, which is the designer, and they do a photo manipulation package, which I can't remember what it's called now, but Affinity Photo or something like that. It's the vector art stuff I'm really interested in because it has looks to have some good facilities for doing vector art and then combining pixel art together, and that's what I'm interested in. And they seem to have a lot of support, and they seem to have quite some good reviews. And as an added bonus, it's cheaper, something like €48 or something like that, which is about 45 quid. So that's no biggie. That's something that I could easily shell out for. So I'm going to continue looking at that. I think that's what I'm going to pop for, but I just need to be 100% sure. The other thing I'm probably going to invest in, which is going to be a little bit more money, is a graphics tablet. Now I can do, and I have done artwork and shading and colouring and all sorts of like little bits and pieces, just like the rudimentary bits I need to take stuff from James and put them into whatever game engine I'm using just a mouse. But I used to have a graphics tablet back in the day. I think if I'm largely going to be responsible for taking images generated by James and tightening them up and shading and colouring them, I want something that can do the job. So I think a graphics tablet would be a really good buy. It's going to cost a bit of money, but it'll be worth it in the end. And it's something I can use not just for this project, for all projects. And also it should be compatible with any other computer system I buy now and in the future, so it's hopefully it should be a bit of a no-brainer. I haven't looked at graphics tablets in quite a few years. Wacom are pretty much the staples, but I know there's some other bits and pieces. It's just what is basically how much money I want to spend, and to be fair, I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I don't want to spend not enough money, so I want a large enough work area, and a decent enough value for money that I don't feel I'm spending too much or too little. Because you can get like 50 or 60 quid tablets, but they tend to be quite tiny. The work area tends to be quite tiny. I don't want something massively huge. I just need something that'll sit in the middle just nicely. So I'm just going to have a bit of research on that one. Like I said, back in the day, I think I had a Logitech, and that was bit of a weird one to use. It didn't have any sort of like real pressure sensitivity. It was one of the first tablets, but we'll see what's out there now, because it's been like 15 years since I had one, so should be kind of interesting. So I'm looking at that. In terms of workflow, I've been talking to James this weekend, and basically it's a very, very simple workflow. He's going to draw all stuff. He'll give me the paper copies when I see him. I'll scan them in. and then I'll basically tart them up, colour them, shade them, do all that kind of stuff. We'll review it together, or I'll send them back to him and he'll send me back with comments, or, could you make it this colour or that colour, or this needs doing this way, or, it needs to be looking like this or something, and then hopefully we'll throw it into Visionaire and see how it looks. A very, very simple workflow. It doesn't, but it hopefully should work. As an aside, if you're interested, I saw Alien Covenant with James this weekend, and my only review is... Right, so this week my main to-do list is research on graphics tablets, hammer down which software I want to use, and that's really largely it. Those are the two biggies. James is off and away, should be sketching out rough room ideas based on the sketches I did almost time before last, so that hopefully I should be getting stuff back to have a look at. This week I want to actually action and get the tablet and some software, and get cracking with learning those, because learning a new package is going to be brutal, but hopefully there should be some transferable skills. I know Illustrator quite well and Photoshop quite well as Acorn and all that kind of stuff. They should transfer quite nicely from one package to another, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, depending on which package I get, obviously. So those are my main jobs this week. Nothing really massively techy, it's just more research and more figuring out and more spending of money. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for checking in again. I know it's not hugely exciting, but this is what, for us, is game development is like. It's not all like you see on other stuff where they just put in just the exciting stuff of people jumping around and doing fancy drawings and fancy renderings on fancy machines. This is how we approach game development, and sometimes it's not exactly hugely interesting. Sometimes it's doing a huge amount of research, and sometimes it's just staring at screens looking at, colour palettes or films or something just to get inspiration, or sometimes it's just talking a lot of stuff out or writing a lot of notes. But this is the reality of it, and we'll just keep pressing forward each week. So thanks again for watching. Come back next week. Hopefully I'll definitely have something more. I'll make a purchase and we can have a look at the graphics tablet, and then can devise a plan for moving forward for learning new bits and pieces, and we're one step closer to getting graphics into a game engine and looking good. See you next week. That's better. So yeah, unfortunately, well,